Hi, it's John, and welcome to the channel. It is 6:11 a.m. on Wednesday, March 26th, with the big blue mug of coffee. Hope you're having a great day today. I made it to 17,000 subscribers. Thanks so much. If you click on subscribe right now, onward and upward to 18,000. I do appreciate it. And I'm going to cover a story that was all over media yesterday, social media, but the media has doubled down on this story, and it's a nothing story, and it was put out just to twist this into something to get Pierre Poilievre. Meanwhile, a real story broke yesterday, which I'm going to get to in just a moment, that's getting virtually no coverage whatsoever, and it's pretty damn serious. So let's go to the story that broke. You've probably seen this headline. And you know what's amazing about this headline is you can't go beyond this on the Globe and Mail website because they're behind a paywall. But that's the point. People read the headline and think something's going on here, and there's nothing going on here. Pierre Poilievre won the Conservative leadership by a landslide. It wasn't even close. But they wanted to twist this into something else to get Pierre Poilievre. This was a plant. I think the Liberals knew about this story coming, and this got planted in the newspaper, in the Globe and Mail, specifically to put all of the pressure on Poilievre and not on what actually is happening with Mark Carney. Shame on Robert Fife and Stephen Chase for writing this. This is disgraceful. And not only that, this ran yesterday. Here's another story on the same thing, ran yesterday. So they're doubling down on this story. Politics Insider, Poilievre says he won Tory leadership race without India's help. Ian Bailey wrote this. Shame on you, Ian Bailey. Not only that, they're tripling down on the same story. Robert Fife, again. Poilievre says he won leadership without Indian interference, defends not taking security clearance. This was a plant. This is a nothing story, but it's all been put out there so that Carney can twist it into this. And this is the CBC website. Carney calls Poilievre irresponsible for security clearance refusal after reports of meddling in the leadership. And not only that, here they are sending out an email. I got this in my inbox yesterday. Canada Strong. This is from the Liberal Party. It's irresponsible. John, just today, the Globe and Mail reported foreign meddling in Pierre Poilievre's 2022 leadership race for the Conservative Party. And at a time when Canada's sovereignty and security are being threatened, Pierre Poilievre still won't get a security clearance. Meanwhile, Mark Carney and our Liberal team are prioritizing protecting and securing Canada. Now, the question you have to ask is this, and this is what I thought immediately when I saw this story, and then the Liberals fundraising, because they are fundraising off this. There it is. When I saw this story was, why does Pierre Poilievre have to have security clearance for a story that ran on the front page of the Globe and Mail? He doesn't, because it's a nothing story. And then I saw this clip. Here's Kate Harrison on the CBC.
I'm struggling a little bit with how this is both so secret and secure information and intelligence that it can't be provided to the leader of the opposition under the threat reduction measure, but it absolutely can be shared with the Globe and Mail and with readers of the paper. But
it gets even better, because yesterday, the leader of the opposition, Pierre Poilievre, who's running to be the prime minister of this country, actually had a story about how Mark Carney, the current prime minister, not my prime minister, may be compromised with the communist Chinese government.
Mr. Carney went over for meetings in Beijing where he just had secret talks with the deputy governor of the Chinese central bank. 2 weeks later, Brookfield got a $250 million loan. What did they talk about? What did Mr. Carney in his role as Trudeau's economic advisor offer China? Why would he be having secret meetings with top government-controlled bankers about getting a $250 million loan while he was supposed to be acting in Canada's interest as the Prime Minister's economic advisor?
I use the word compromised. I don't know that Mr. Poilievre did in his rally, but I think he should use the word compromised. What do the communist Chinese have on Mark Carney, who's the prime minister of the country right now and might be elected on April the 28th? What do they have on him? We don't know his business dealings, because that's not important to the media, who seem to think a 3-year-old story about Indian interference in Poilievre's leadership campaign is a major news story. But Carney has not released all of his business dealings, and they think we need to know that. Poilievre is quite correct. But if you look at the Globe and Mail website this morning, I searched for Mark Carney on the site as well, and there's not a word about what Poilievre just said there, which I think is terribly important. Not a word about it. But there is this story over here Let me blow this one up for you. Now, they've got to double down on this Indian interference story so they can tie it to Poilievre and his security clearance. Ousted Liberal MP Chandra Arya barred from running under party's banner over alleged ties to India. This story is obviously from weeks ago when he was banned from running for the... No, it's just from 2 hours ago. Why is this story running today? Because it ties in with this conspiracy over Poilievre and his security clearance, because they've got to not triple down it. This is 4 times over now. Again, Robert Fife, shame on you. Meanwhile, MP Chandra Arya gets tossed out of his riding in Nepean, I believe, just outside Ottawa, by the lily-white Liberal leader, Mark Carney, who's now taken over his seat. This is disgraceful. Absolutely disgraceful. And then they have the gall to write a story like this. This is the Globe and Mail. Online sabotage, disinformation from abroad is a real danger in a race where Canada-U.S. mistrust is high. Come on. These people are peddling disinformation. I mean, they're all in for it. And why are they doing this? Because they need money. Here's a story from True North. This story is 5 years old. Globe and Mail asks government for more financial assistance. This is why, folks. Government should not be giving money to media organizations. It's quite clear because this is what happens. Here's the story right here. In 2019, the Trudeau government announced a $595 million subsidy program for media organizations like the Globe and Mail. That same year, the Globe also received untendered contracts worth $2 million from the federal government. Of course they did. So what does Poilievre do to get around all this misinformation from the media? I've got an answer to that in another video that's coming later today. Thanks for watching. I do appreciate it. If you like the video, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. Let's get to 18,000, ring the bell for notifications, and I'll see you in the next one.